Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Abiola, and in today's tutorial, we'll be taking the sewing version of the shirt we drafted in the last video. A lot of people requested that I show how to draft the sleeve pattern as well, and I also realized that since I added ease to the armhole whilst drafting, it's important I also show you how to draft the sleeve to avoid any confusion. So I am going to quickly show you how to draft the sleeve for this shirt, then we'll proceed with the sewing. Okay, the first step is to get a fresh and small piece of pattern paper and fold it into two. Then we are going to mark out a starting line. From the top of the paper, I'll come down by 1 inch, mark it at several points, and connect the point into a straight line. I'll go ahead to label this line SH, which signifies the sleeve head. Next, I'll mark my sleeve length. My sleeve length is 10 inches. I'll just mark that at several points. Go in with my ruler to connect the point into a straight line and label that line SL, which stands for sleeve length. Now let's draft our sleeve. We'll be drafting our sleeve using the bust based sleeve drafting method. Now, my actual bust circumference measurement is 39 inches. But remember, when we were drafting the shirt, we added ease to the armhole. We added 0.75 inches of ease to the front and 0.75 inches of ease to the back. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead to write out the ease. The ease that I added is 0.75. Yours might be 1. Yours might be 1.5. Just write it out. And since our body is divided into 4 parts, 1, 2, 3, and 4, I'm going to multiply that ease by 4. So 0.75 times 4 gives me 3 inches. So I'm going to add that 39 plus 3 inches, which gives me 42 inches. So my new bust circumference measurement is 42. To draft our sleeve pattern, we need to calculate our cap height and our cap width. And in order to calculate our cap width, we have to divide our bust circumference by 6 plus 1.5 inches. My new bust circumference measurement is 42 inches. So 42 divided by 6 plus 1.5. 42 divided by 6 equals 7. 7 plus 1.5 inches gives 8.5. So my cap width is 8.5. For the cap height, I have to divide my bust circumference by 12 plus 1 inch. Okay, so my new bust circumference is 42. 42 divided by 12 plus 1 equals 42 divided by 12 is 3.5. 3.5 plus 1 equals 4.5. So 8.5 is my cap width and 4.5 is my cap height. Just keep that at the back of your mind. Now let's go ahead to draft. We're going to start by marking our cap height, which is 4.5. Okay, so from the sleeve head, I'm going to come down by 4.5 inches and I would mark, then go in with my ruler to connect into a straight line. And I would proceed to label that area CH, which signifies cap height. Okay, next I would mark out my cap width, which is 8.5 inches. I'm just going to place the tape on this line and mark 8.5 inches. Then I'll go ahead to label that line CW, which signifies cap width. Next, I'll connect from the cap width area to the sleeve head with my ruler. I'm going to go in with my tape at this point and find the midpoint between the sleeve head and the cap width area. I am just going to fold my tape into two in order to mark the midpoint. On that midpoint line, I am going to go in by 0.25 and I am also going to come out by 0.25. Okay, I am going to label this part point A, I'll label this part point B, I'll label this part point C, and I'll label this part point D, just to make it easy when we are connecting with our curve, okay, and so that we don't make any mistakes. In order to create the front armhole curve, I'm going to connect point A to point B and then point B to point C, and I'm going to label that part front. I'm also going to go in with my red marker to make the curve more visible. Okay, then for the back armhole curve, I'm going to connect point A to point D and then finally point D to point C, and I would label it back. I would also go in with my green marker to, connect the point to make it more visible. Next, you have to determine how wide you want your sleeve to be at the sleeve length line. I want mine to be as wide as 14 inches. So 14 divided by 2 gives me 7 inches, which I marked. And I'm going to go in with my curve to connect the points just as shown. From the main shirt pattern, my side seam allowance was 0.75. That is the same allowance I'm going to mark on the sleeve so that it matches properly. So I am going to mark 0.75 at the top and 0.75 below, and I will go ahead to connect both points together with my curve. Now, it is time to add hemming allowance to the sleeve. There's a way I like to fold my shirt sleeve hem. I usually fold twice. So the hemming allowance I'll be using is 1.5 inches. So what I would do is I'll divide that 1.5 inches by 2, which gives me 0.75. So first, I'll mark 0.75 and connect into a straight line. Then I'll mark that same 0.75 again and connect it into another straight line. I'm going to go ahead now to measure what I marked on my sleeve length line, which is 7 inches. I'll bring that down and mark again. Then I'll add my 0.75 allowance again and connect just as shown. Now, I am going to trim off the excess paper from the hem area. Now, I'm going to open up the sleeve pattern and fold the hemming allowance into two the same way I plan to hem it, okay? Which implies that I folded the first 0.75 and I folded the second 0.75 and I went ahead to close the sleeve just as shown. Now, I'll go in with my scissors to cut out from the seam allowance on the side. Then I will first of all cut out the back armhole curve. The back armhole curve is the curve with the green marker. So I'm going to cut that out first, open up the pattern and label the other side back. Then I'll go ahead now to cut off the front armhole curve, which is the curve drawn with the red marker. Okay, now I am going to open up the hemming allowance so that you see why I folded it in the first place. Can you see that extra at the side? Would you notice that extra at the side? Normally, if we had gone ahead to cut it the way we drafted it, we'll be short of fabric at the side. So when we are hemming, to avoid getting short of fabric, I like to fold the way I would normally fold and cut out. Look at that extra there, about 0.25 extra. Can you see? So that will make it very, very easy for me to fold and be sure that I'm not going to be short of fabric on the side when I fold. Okay? And there you have it. This is our basic short sleeve pattern. The next step is to cut out our patterns on the fabric. And what I'm going to do is to fold my fabric into two, right sides facing each other so that the wrong side of the fabric is up. Now, I'll go ahead to bring in my patterns. Remember, we are cutting our back shirt pattern on fold and we are cutting one piece of the back shirt pattern, okay? So that part I wrote on fold, I'm going to place it on the fold. That is what we mean when we say we are cutting on fold, okay? So I'll go ahead to pin down the back shirt pattern and also go ahead to pin the front shirt pattern and proceed to cut out all the patterns, okay? Remember, for the front shirt pattern, we are cutting two pieces of that. So folding it this way will make it easy for us to just cut out two pieces, okay? After cutting out the front pattern, I'm going to cut out the back pattern. After cutting off the back pattern, the next step is to notch. Remember, we came down by 1.5 inches when we were trying to get the hemline for the shirt. That 1.5 inch point, just go ahead to notch, okay, for the back pattern and also for the front pattern, so that when we are joining the side seam, you will know that that's where you're supposed to stop. Do you understand? Remember, we're going to hem the curved end, so you just need to be sure of exactly where you are stopping when you are stitching the sides. The next step is to go ahead to cut out the sleeves. I'm just going to place my fabric on fold and then place my pattern paper on top of it, pin it down and go ahead to cut, okay? Remember, we did not add our 0.5 inch joining allowance at the top of the sleeve. So at this point, I'll go ahead to add that 0.5 inch allowance, then go in with my curve to blend out the curve, okay? Then I'll proceed to cut it out. Now we have all our patterns cut out. The next step is to remove our patterns. But before I remove my patterns, I'm going to go ahead to notch my placket allowance. That 2 inches placket allowance down there, I would notch it so that by the time I fold in my placket allowance, I do not make any mistake, okay? The next step is to go to my ironing table and bring in my front shirt pattern. Remember, we added 2 inches as our placket allowance. So out of that 2 inches, I'll fold in 1 inch first. If you're unsure if you're folding in 1 inch, please go in with your tape to confirm, okay? Confirm that you're folding in 1 inch, then go in with your iron and press. Press from beginning to the end, after which go in again and fold the remaining 1 inch. Remember, all these folds you are making is towards the wrong side. Please do not make mistake of folding it towards the right side. Okay, after you are done folding in the placket allowance, go ahead and flip the shirt to the right side and give it a good press with your iron. Once you are done ironing, flip it back to the wrong side, and now we are going to bring in our hemming gum. Cut out a strip of hemming gum that matches the length of the placket area. Then carefully Place the hemming gum underneath the folded placket allowance and go ahead to press it with your iron. Okay, now this step is not compulsory, but I personally like to do it because it helps the placket feel more thicker, more stable, and it also gives a more professional look. It is optional, but I highly recommend it. After you are done with the first side of the shirt, move over to the second side of the shirt and carry out the same steps. Now, let's move over to the sleeves. So before I finish taking out the pins, I'm going to go ahead to notch the middle of the sleeve. After I'm done notching the middle of the sleeve, I will also notch the front part of the sleeve. So that when I want to attach the sleeve, I will know where the front is and also know where the back is, okay? Remember, the front and the back armhole are very different. Next, I went ahead to use my chalk to note the wrong side of my sleeve because we're going to fold the hem of the sleeve just like we did for the placket, and we're folding towards the wrong side, okay? So the next thing I'll do now is to go ahead to fold the hem. Remember, I'm folding 0.75 twice. That is what I added. I'll fold in the first 0.75 and I would iron. I would also confirm with my tape that I'm folding in 0.75. After which, I will fold in the second 0.75 and I would also press it properly. Okay, I'll proceed to carry out the same steps for the second sleeve. I'll fold in 0.75 twice just like I did. Okay, and I'll press the sleeve properly. Just like we did for the placket, I'm going to go in with my hemming gum to hold the folded ends together. Like I said before, it just helps it have a professional finish and it makes it feel thicker and more stable. That's just why I like to do it. And like I said, this is an optional step. It is not compulsory. It is time to head over to our sewing machine to stitch down the edge of the placket fold. Now you can stitch from the front or from the back, whichever works best for you. Some persons prefer stitching from the front for accuracy so that they can control how straight their stitch line is. Others stitch from the back. It's totally fine either way as far as your stitch lines are straight. Repeat the same step for your sleeve hem. Just stitch right along the edge of the fold the same way we did for the placket. And like I said, you can stitch from the front or from the back. It just depends on what you want and how straight your stitch line is. The next step is to join the shoulders. I'll start by placing the back pattern on the table, right side facing up. Then I'll place the first side of the front pattern on it, right side facing right side, okay? I'll also place the second front pattern the same way, right sides facing. Now I'm going to mark my ½ inch allowance on both shoulders, then head over to my sewing machine to stitch. At this point, I was done stitching the placket area and the shoulders. I had also gone ahead to hem the sleeves, just like I said, okay? So the next step now is to open up our shoulder seam and iron. So I'll go ahead to press open the shoulder seams on the ironing table, just as shown. The next step is to iron our shoulder drop properly. I'm just going to align the armholes. Once you align the armholes, the length of your shirt will align and your shoulder drop will be more visible. The next step is to iron the shoulder lines properly so that it sits well. So just go in with your iron and press properly. The next step is to notch the midpoint of the shoulders so that we can attach our sleeve, okay? After notching the midpoint of the shoulders, remember we've also notched the midpoint of our sleeve and we also notched the front armhole curl so that we don't make any mistakes and probably attach the front armhole to the back armhole, especially when your fabric is the same. Like you can't tell the difference between the front and the back, okay? To attach the sleeves, I am going to align the notch on the shoulders to the notch on the sleeve and I'm going to pin them down, okay? So from that midpoint, I'll go ahead to pin every angle of the sleeve. I would also do the same thing for the other sleeve and I'll head over to my sewing machine to attach the sleeve, okay? After attaching the sleeves, here is what I have. Now it's time to close the sides, okay, with our side seam allowance. The side seam allowance I used is 0.75, so I'm going to go ahead to mark that. Now remember, we are stitching our sides and we are stopping exactly at that notch on the side. Remember, I told us to notch that 1.5 inch below the waistline that we marked, and that is exactly where we are stopping our side seam, okay? Do not forget. So I went ahead to use my chalk and my tape rule to mark out my 0.75 side seam allowance, and I also made sure to mark the exact place I'm stopping, that 1.5 inch below the waistline. I made sure to note that point, okay? Now, let's head over to our sewing machine to close the sides properly. Ensure the armholes match properly, okay? So I'll just stitch and stop exactly where the side seam stitch is supposed to stop. do not pass that point, okay? Carry out the same steps on the other side by stitching your 0.75 inch seam allowance, okay? And once you're done, the next step is to hem. Please watch and listen carefully if you want your curved hem to come out as neat as the one on your screen when you're done hemming, okay? Because this is a curved hem, there are a few steps I like to take to help it come out really neat. The first thing we'll do is a stay stitch around the curved edge. Set your sewing machine to the longest stitch length, just like I've done on the screen, okay? And stitch about 1/8. That is 0.125 inches away from the raw edge of the hem. And you might be wondering, why am I doing this? The reason we do this is to help prevent the hem from stretching out of shape, especially since it is curved. Okay, now that little stitch helps hold the shape while we fold and press. I know that mine is looking like about 0.25 inch from the raw edge. Please do 0.125, okay, to make it even neater than mine. Okay, so at this point I'll go ahead to stitch round the back. I would also go ahead to stitch round the front. Obviously, we have the right side of the front and the left side of the front, so carry out the same steps for all of them. And let's move to the ironing table. Here is what it looks like after stitching. This might seem like nothing, okay, but it prevents the curved hem from stretching out unnecessarily when we are ironing and folding. I'll start by folding in a little bit of the hem, just a little fold, and I would press it in place. Then I will continue folding in a bit more and I would press as I go. So it's like you fold a bit, then you iron, you fold a bit, and you iron all the way around the curved hem till the end. Once you are done with the first fold, go ahead and do the second fold. Same process. You fold in a bit, you press it down, you fold it in a bit, and you press it down as well till you are done, okay? After that, you can go in with your pins to hold everything in place. That way, by the time you head over to your sewing machine to stitch the hem down, the whole thing stays in place and doesn't shift around. Now, you repeat the same process for the two front curves, that is the left and the right side of the front of your shirt, okay? You iron, you fold, you iron, you fold, just like we did before. And once you are done with both sides, you pin them down too. Here is what mine looked like when I was done pinning everything. So you head over to your sewing machine at this point to hem it properly. Ensure to stitch very close to the edge, okay? After hemming it properly, here is what you should have. So what you need to do at this point is to go ahead to iron it properly. If you have a steam iron, even better, okay? Iron it properly so that it relaxes better. Now, the reason I said your stage stitch should be done at 0.125 inches, that's 1/8 of an inch, is so that it doesn't show behind after hemming. If you do 0.25 like I did earlier, the stitch might still show at the back once you are done hemming, and you may have to use your seam ripper to remove some of the unnecessary seams behind, which I had to do. Okay, so to keep yours even neater than mine, just stick to 1/8, that's 0.125 inch of stay stitch. Now the next step is to go ahead to attach our collar, and I'm going to do that in the next video, so that is like a standalone video. Although I already have like a video or a tutorial on how to attach your collar, but that's like an old video. So I have an updated collar tutorial which I'll be posting next, and you're going to love it because this one relaxes even better. So I'm going to see you in the next one, guys. Bye.